I'm from RakutenTechConf2014, which has three locations, three teams, one in Tokyo, one in New York, and one in Paris. And I'm from RIT Paris, which was created this year. And one of our main focuses is on the connection between online shopping and offline physical stores. So I will talk about that and try giving an overview of different projects by various companies, different technologies we use, and afterward I will say a few words about the projects we have in the domain at RIT. So now we're so much used to computers, and they also now become wearable, that sometimes we get confused between the reality and what is virtual, and our expectations increase in the real world because of that. So for instance, it happened to me that when someone is speaking with a voice too low or too loud, I want to use a remote control to change the sound volume. Didn't that happen to you? Or maybe that's just a problem I have, but still, what happens is that we're expecting things in the real world we're used to on the internet. Like when you are in a department store and you precisely know what you want to buy, you would like to have the search feature you usually have on the internet. Or when there are a lot of people waiting for payment, would like to just click on the button to proceed to checkout. So let's have a look on the different on the usage in shopping regarding what is online and offline. And what happens now is until now, the sales are, the revenues are much higher in physical stores than in the world globally than online. But we must take into account that for one sale in a real store, a lot of activity happens online also. So when you want to buy something, you have a choice going online or going to a physical store. But before going in a physical store, you can browse the web to get information about prices and features of the product you want. Or you can be in the physical store and then you have your mobile phone and you check the prices online. So it's a very complicated process. There are a lot of processing fast. But we can summarize the different types of behavior by using the notion of showrooming and web rooming. That means showrooming means that you go to a physical store because you want to have the physical perception of products, or you want to try them, or talk to a human being. But then you prefer to go online because it's cheaper, for instance. And the other way around, web rooming is when you go online to get information about prices, for instance, or to find out what you're interested in. But then you go to a physical store because you don't want to, for instance, you don't want to wait for a delivery. You want to have what you want to buy immediately. So for different reasons, these two types of behavior exist. And so some companies are fighting that, and some other companies are. But actually, it's almost impossible to keep the two types of activity separate now, because it's impossible to prevent people going online when they're in a physical store. So some stores try to do it, but it's really impossible. And we are still used to the physical world. We're used to that, even if we are getting more and more used to the internet. For several centuries, we went in the street or in the stores to buy things. So we cannot really distinguish, and we have to take into account that we have to deal with both online and offline shopping at the same time. And one other aspect we have to take into account is that depending on the category of products and on people, it can be a social activity. This is something we say at Rakuten, shopping is entertainment, to a certain extent it's true. And whereas we go to a store with friends, or we are in a store and we want to ask the opinion of a friend, we call them by phone, or we use social networks. So this social aspect of shopping is important. So finally, what customers expect, probably, they want to get benefits from both online shopping and physical stores, because they're used to both and they want to have all the advantages of both modality. And as I said, in some cases, they want to preserve shopping as a social activity. But most of all, I think the important point is that they should get some continuity between the different ways of shopping, because it's really annoying when you do something on the web, maybe for 1 hour, you are looking for a product and you find what you want to buy, and then you go in the store and you have to start again everything. And different things like that are annoying, because there is the two modalities are really separate. And apart from using smartphones, we're not able to establish this continuity. So all the things I said are most companies are very well aware of it, of course. Nothing very innovative. And so there is now a trend which we call O2O. That means offline to online, and in the beginning it means getting the customers from the website to your store. But now it means also connecting both online and offline. And so there are different services appearing to deal with that, like click and collect, which is a way to avoid web roaming, keep the customer buying online, even if they want to get their product very rapidly. So several services appear and bring more continuity in the shopping experience, but probably much more is needed to have a real continuity. So now I will talk about the different mechanisms available to connect online and offline shopping. So I wrote some pictograms, so not to lose you in the different examples, because it's a bunch of examples. So there are 4 types of mechanisms I described. First one related to the geolocalization, the second to the payment. Third, connecting data with product with data. And finally, detecting and tracking. So the first way to connect what's online and offline is to get information about where are the products you want to buy, if they are in a physical store, and being able to buy them even online, for instance. So that means having localization information about the stores, but also preferably about the customers. And it means also you need to have some knowledge of what is in the store, so a connection with the inventory databases. And if you want to provide a transaction online, you need to connect the payment with the system in the store, so that the people just don't go to the store and buy it without going through your online service. So let's go into a different example of that. So click and collect uses this type of information about the localization of the store when you collect your product in a physical store. And fast delivery is also something which is in the race mainly between Amazon and Google, which is a concurrent system similar to Rakuten. So most e-commerce platforms are now providing that, click and collect or fast delivery, including Rakuten. And Google and Amazon even advertise they will be drawn for very fast delivery. Now some e-commerce platforms are targeting specifically physical stores. So it's e-commerce, but only in connection with the physical world. So different companies are trying to do that now, and it becomes also to be part of a general e-commerce platform to some extent. So as I said, for that you need this information about where the physical store and this connection with the inventory database. So these are not very easy mechanisms to put in place. So for each type of, for each example, I'll give a few links to companies or projects related to each subject. You can also establish a connection between the physical world and online services at payment time. And there are different ways to do that. You can use the payment card as a starting point, or mobile payment, or you can start by the receipts, whether a printed receipt or electronic receipt. So let's see that. Card linking is a very interesting mechanism you can use to establish the connection at payment time, because it doesn't require anything special from the customer, except doing the association between his payment card and his profile. So as soon as this connection is established, online profile and payment card, for each payment there can be some tracking of everything that happened in physical stores. That's really powerful, and so this is something now appearing. This is also related. The mobile payment is also a way of unifying the payment across online commerce and physical store. And the example, of course, is Apple Pay, which combines a fingerprint, the security of fingerprint, and a unified payment system. Scanning a receipt is also a type of simple way, but can be also efficient to do that, because you have all the information in the printed receipt, for instance, or the electronic receipt. The inconvenience is that for a printed receipt, you have to ask the customer to take a picture with his smartphone and going through an app, so that's quite cumbersome. So you must get some reward for doing that, and some companies are trying to do that, giving cashback or something like that. So this is a way of using character recognition to get all the data, because on the printed receipt there is quite a lot. And a more automatic way of doing it is to scan email if you have electronic receipt. And this is what DoSlice, which was acquired by Rakuten. And so for that, while you have connection with the emails of the user, you can get everything. And even from physical store, like in Apple Store, you get an electronic receipt, and you can get the data. Rakuten created a Rakuten point card, and this is also a way of connecting physical stores and e-commerce, because it's about, so this is related to a loyalty program, and it's about using Superpoint and getting Superpoint in physical store. So that's also about unifying what happens online and offline. And of course, as soon as you establish all these connections, and you get the data, and it's very powerful to do more big data thing and things like that. I didn't even mention that. Finally, and this can be a bit more tricky, you can try to establish the connection from the product. So the most simple way of doing that is using barcode, so that works very well since many years. So this is just digital information that is printed, so there is no problem getting it, except that you have to scan it. But with some applications start to appear doing image matching, and that works pretty well as long as images are very close. and what we expect will appear in real product recognition, which doesn't exist now. And you can also, to connect the product with some digital information and interaction, you can try mixing virtual products and real products. So I will show different examples of that now. So there are several applications, including Amazon, to get the online information about the product, or to buy the product online from snapshots of the real product. So that works by exact matching. So the principle is to gather a database of product images and then match the pictures taken by the phone with them. So it's mostly about optimization and whether you store all the signature inside the mobile phone or online. So there are different various solutions. But that works quite well as soon as it's about printed things, like for DVD or printed things on the packaging. But if you take a picture of any product, it doesn't work at all. Except with CanFind. I don't know if you know this application. So this application recognizes everything, like a bottle of water, a remote control, a seat, anything, your food, anything. So that's amazing because when a computer vision specialist use that, they don't believe it. They can't understand how it works. And actually, it doesn't work really like computer vision. There is computer vision in this service, but there are also human beings recognizing the object. But that's interesting because by doing that, they gather a database of images, which can become huge, and then improve the computer vision algorithms. So that's quite efficient. Now, a bit more advanced thing, which that you can see in stores sometimes. We can mix digital environment with the real environment by projecting things on the object or on the shelf or on the walls or on the tables. So this is projection mapping, and as soon as you have this projection mapping, it's like a screen, and you can provide interaction, for instance, by using gestures. So you create an interactive environment inside the store. So that can be quite powerful, but it must be it must fit in the environment. There must be this precisely this continuity between the virtual and the real. So I will show you an example of this company Perch, which is really beautiful. So here at the table is like a projection screen, and there is some gesture recognition system. So when you pick up a product, it triggers some sequence of images, or it opens menus, and so it's really like interacting with a computer, but you're in the store, and there is no, you don't see a computer. And the rendering is very important when you do something in the store, because it must go with the general design of the store, and the customer doesn't feel that there is some computer thing aside from the different real products. So this is a nice integration of everything. And to achieve that, you can also use augmented reality. So I think you almost all know what it's about. So IKEA did that with what they call augmented reality catalog. So when you scan one image of the catalog, you get some the real product in 3D, and it can be used to perceive some furniture fits in your living room, for instance. Or Miteio, which is a company doing augmented reality, created an application where you can take a box. They did that with Lego, a box of Lego, and you see what's inside the box in 3D. So that's interesting. It's really nicely mixed, the real and virtual, the digital information with the real product. And something I saw on the Champs-Élysées store of Adidas, which is amazing. It's you have real shelves with the shoes, and in the middle you have a virtual shelf. but you almost can't tell the difference. It's really, really beautiful. And so you can touch and get the real shoes, and you can interact with the virtual environment. And in the virtual environment, it's connected with the system of the store, so you can ask for to try something on, or get information about it, or about the price. So that's really a good example of a nice integration and about establishing a continuity with your digital environment, where you're able to connect anything to the internet and the real store. Now, something we like to do on the internet is tracking and analysis of user behavior. And usually we are not able to do that in physical stores, but we're starting to be able to do it by tracking, by partner matching, computer vision. And we also do it by detecting Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and or ultrasound systems. So detecting the presence of user is called geofencing. It means you detect the presence of someone in a local area. And this is done using Bluetooth, not now Bluetooth LE or Wi-Fi or ultrasound. And so different companies do that, and there is Smapo, which does that in Rakuten. And so the principle is to bring people in some stores, or in particular areas of stores, by giving them points, super points, or kicks, or steps, or anything you want, rewards. And so this is something which appears. And still using this technology, Bluetooth LE. Now you know that Bluetooth was very power consuming, and that now Bluetooth LE is more usable. So now we have this like Apple iBeacon or other things like that. So we're able to have an idea of where are the people in the stores, and we can also do that by doing machine tracking by computer vision to a certain extent. And then it becomes possible to provide navigation systems in stores. And so there are examples of that with, for instance, Project Tango, which gather 3D information by the environment, and using augmented reality, it can guide you or promote things, or do things we're able to do on the internet. And there are also companies doing specifically customer behavior analysis using cameras or tracking smartphones and doing computer vision. So mainly for the moment, it's used to analyze the flow of people in different areas of the store, or detect the genders and age. So it's still a way to get all the data you're used to get on the internet and doing analytics. And so more and more, we will get more and more information with computer vision algorithms going forward. So now I will tell you a few words about different projects at the Rakuten Institute of Technology, without going into the detail, but to give you an idea of what we do in this domain. There was a program a few years ago called Ubira, and it was exactly to fight showrooming. So when a customer is comparing prices on a smartphone in a shop and finds that it is cheaper elsewhere, you lose the customer in the store. So this was a way to providing a discount by the store in case the client has found something more interesting elsewhere. Another more recent project, so these two projects are from RIT Tokyo, by the same person, Lieutenant Bandara. And this project called Landmark the goal is to deal with a loyalty program, but or coupon program in a geo-localized space. So the idea is to replace the coupon tickets that are distributed in the street by digital coupons. So just replacing the real thing by a virtual thing. But then what's interesting is that you're then able to apply some new mechanism like propagate the distribution. And if you use the geolocalization of people, it's like if every people you give a coupon to now redistribute other coupon elsewhere and get a reward when there is a success in the system. So this is a communication project which brings the digital coupon mechanism in the physical world. There was also some project using augmented reality. It was also in RIT Tokyo. And this project, RIT Tokyo, was about gathering information from online and offline, and displaying in a funny way the popularity of products and how many people and what categories of people were buying the products. So they're represented by small avatars, and they stand on a map, on a physical map of the stores. So this is a way of displaying the information you're used to, like comments and the rating, but in a mixed environment. Wallshop is a new project by RIT Tokyo, where it also brings in the physical space some digital environment using digital signage. And it uses different components, for instance, retrieving comments associated with products, doing some natural language processing. And here also, we see that the rendering is important. So this is the way of showing the product is nice validation. And finally, I will talk a bit about, without going too much into detail, because it's quite new, about project we do at RIT Paris. And it starts from the observation that when you're in a store and you want to buy a product, but you want the advice of some friends, usually you take a picture, you send it, and you talk with your friend by phone or by texting. And this is not always very convenient, especially if you want to buy clothes or something like that. You don't want to have anything in your hand, you don't want to type text, you don't want to use your voice even. So we invented a system where different users are communicating, having a dialogue about the product, and they're in different locations. One is in a store, and the other one are on the internet, on the tablet or computer. And the idea is that they share common view, and they're able to discuss about the product, but in a way that is appropriate for each environment. So in the store, you don't have anything in your hand. There is big display on the screen, and you use a gesture interface. We found some ways of having a dialogue without voice or without text. But I will show that in a future presentation probably. So finally, our goal in this domain of O2O is to improve the continuity between online and offline shopping. So this is the goal we have, the direction we follow in these different projects. There are some part of what we do at RIT. So this is what we do in O2O. Maybe have time for questions.
Are you aware of there was an initiative at Kugo in Japan where they created physical cards for the books that you buy inside the app. So you actually go to a bookstore and you have all these cards and physical cards and you buy them in the bookstore physically and then just within some coupon.
No. Yeah, that's the way of bringing the yeah. For each for each mechanism I talked about, there is a lot of different services available. So some of them, like some of them are already deployed in many places, and all the last projects, especially those dealing with gesture interface and digital environment in store, are some advanced and more futuristic things. So it's more about prototypes. As we saw with the two examples of Adidas and Perch, it's the beginning to appear in commercial stores.
Did you have any plan to do similar project in Tokyo?
Actually, the last project was the Tokyo project. You mean the RIT project or?
Yes, so like Shoko?
Yeah.
Project?
Yeah, actually, all the projects except Choco are done at Tokyo. And if you mean the plan we have to do this kind of thing in Tokyo, yeah, for the moment it's a prototype. We're just beginning we will just begin to show it more broadly. And I think we will start to do experiments mostly in France with English. But then, if it's possible afterward or at some time, we could do it here. So for this type of prototypes, a way to carry on a real experiment in real conditions is to deal with some merchants of our platforms, the Price Minister in France or Ichiba, who have physical stores. So this is a way of doing it. So we try to do that. But otherwise, there might be also experiments in any places, like department store would be a very interesting place to do that. And so we're also in contact with different partner companies and universities, and so we will try to do some experiments in those conditions in front end if possible in Tokyo. The system we developed for the dialogue about the product in this project is designed so that it should not depend on the different cultural habits. So like the gesture interface doesn't do any assumption about how you point at something. It's about grabbing things. It's about very general ways of behaving that don't depend on the different countries. And also the dialogue is also it's not just at all dependent on the language or the country. So we could apply it here in Japan.
More in general, so do you have any plans for collaboration in RIT and between others, say in Tokyo or others like national language processing team in Europe or Japan?
Yeah, actually we collaborate with Tokyo and Europe now, but with several team of the same department, RIT, so we work together. And we are quite convinced that for all these projects about user interaction and online connection between online and offline, we need many features that will come from data analysis, natural language processing. So and we already do that for some projects in RIT Tokyo that combine different components from different domains of RIT. So we will do that more and more. And apart from that, we already collaborate with them for different other subjects, but not in a specific domain.
Is the O2O domain the exclusive focus of RIT Paris? Or
No.
Other domains?
No. This is one of our main focus, but we're now working, for instance, for we deal mainly with projects including visual things like user interfaces or image processing for the moment. And we're now working